33. I thought I was a good communicator when I came here yesterday. I feel like I communicate well with our staff, with my family. I don't. Apparently I'm 33 out of 48, right? And then Andrew comes up, thank you Andrew for doing this. He says, the reality is you're probably really 5 less. I was one of the worst at my table, let alone in this entire room. So I appreciate that. We do a lot of things in reverse at our club. We break things down from, we want this many memberships, that means we need to close at this percentage. We need this many opportunities and this many leads, and so back. So I'm gonna do something a little in reverse right now. I'm gonna give up some thank yous right now. I'm gonna thank all of you for welcoming me into this, and I'm not one of your brethren quite yet. Maybe I will be after this meeting, who knows? But sharing some of the insights that you guys had. I learned something from somebody who'd been in this system for about 5 months already. You 5 months? Yeah. There are so many take-homes that I have that it keeps me up at night. And if your name is Mark, and if your name is Andy, or Kyle, or Jeff, or Nathan, you would feel incredibly comfortable in my clubs when you walked in there because your thumbprints are all over them. I have no idea if I have one original thought because I probably got it from that group right there. And now I have a few more to bring home, so I appreciate that. It doesn't just come from owners either. It also comes from reps. And although he may be a little embarrassed of me talking about him like this, Jared was one of the first reps that I met. And I've been in this industry now for 15 years. I was in another kind of rep-intensive industry prior to that for about another 15 years. I've dealt with a lot of reps. He is far and away the best one. And I've learned from him up until last night having a beer with him. And what I learned from him last night is that, you know what, let me back up. What I learned from him prior to that is that I don't lower my price, I add more value. And that is a basis of a lot of the decisions that I make within the clubs. Last night he tells me, as we were sitting over a beer, that everybody's got a sign around they're hanging a sign in front of them. And it says, make me feel important. And that's your family, that's your members, that's potential members, it's people that you deal with out in the world. Everybody wants to feel important. Thank you for bringing that up to me last night. I appreciate our relationship. It is not lost on me that I'm the last person before you guys get to go over to the conference. So it's only gonna be about 5 hours, and I'm kidding you. About 5 hours did hit the cutting floor, but I will rifle through these. And if you're getting bored, yell, because give me the hook, baby. I'm going over to the conference with you and we'll have a couple of beers. My presentation is about scaling to some degree. I'm gonna give you some of the tactics that we use. I'm gonna give you some stories. You guys are gonna help a little bit on that. Maybe we'll laugh at some stuff, but that's basically what we're gonna do. My Anytime Fitness has been about overcoming adversity, and I promise you all the slides will not be this long. The major adversity that we had, raise your hand if you had any adversity within your clubs. Yeah, everybody, right? You didn't raise your hand? Holy cow. Thank you. So with the first club, we had some challenges getting open. We had somebody who was protesting us and we had to go to city council and learn all that. That's fine. In 2017, I'm in Northern California, by the way. In 2017, we had big fires around our clubs, around 2 of them specifically. And within a couple of days, 800 members either lost their house or lost their business or had to move away. 8 of our employees had to move away within that one fire, and we were shut down for about a month. 2 years later, the same thing happened in the same area, 400 more customers that we lost overnight. Then comes 2020. What happened then? COVID, right? And COVID in California, whatever you guys say, was a little bit different than COVID everywhere else. I don't know why, but we were shut down for 1 exact year, and then we had a year of vaccination and what other membership restriction that we had? Everybody had to, mask. I would get texts at 2 a.m. with somebody saying they're on a treadmill and their mask is pulled down over their face. And that would be, and I need to quit because I feel unsafe in here. Crazy times those couple of years. But they really hardened us and they caused us to get on this growth track that we're on today. So I have some appreciation for what we learned during COVID. I hated it. I hope it never happens again. I'm not even sure if we learned anything about it as a country or anything. So I just hope it doesn't happen again. As we go through the slides, I'm gonna make myself incredibly uncomfortable 2 different times. One of them's right now. And I I don't really like talking about our numbers. I'm going to give you a few of our numbers just so you have it for context with what we're talking about. We were lucky enough to be the owner of the multi-club owner of the year a couple of years ago, so my reign lasts about 3 more days on that. Our clubs have been Club Platinum for 2 years straight, every one of them. And we had a goal this year of having all of them within the top 25. We couldn't get that last one, it got up to about 44, but the other 4 right now are all in the top 13 or something, 13 or 14. On the PT side, they tell me that I have the highest average. I don't know. I think Andrew's probably up there with that as well. But all of our clubs are ranked in the top 30, including the #1 club, or has been. I think Andrew and I duck back and forth a little bit on that. So we do a couple of things right there, I suppose, in that respect. There goes the first uncomfortable part. The next one's a little bit worse. Hardest transition for me was moving from 1 club to 2 clubs. And I heard some other people talking about it when I was here. It was hard for me because at the first club, I was chief cook and bottle washer, and I signed up everybody, I fixed the toilet, I dealt with cancellations, I dealt with everything in the club. I probably knew 3/4 of them, I probably signed up 3/4 of them. And so every day was a little bit like a family reunion as I came in. I was really a driver of culture, right? I see you shaking your head. I was a driver of culture within that club. Then when we decided to move to our second location, now I have to split myself up a bit. And I've got to send 70% of myself over here and 30% of myself over here while still trying to maintain that culture, right? So one of the first things we need to do when we're thinking about scaling is find people we trust. Everybody needs a dentist. I've got one. If you don't have one, find one. And Dennis came along at the right time. I could not afford him. I could not afford him so much that I took my salary completely down to 0. And he was the first person I paid 6 figures to just to come on board with us, and I could absolutely not afford it in any way, shape, or form. But you guys have heard the work, working on your business, in the business instead of on the business instead of in the business. He truly allowed me to do that, and it really allowed us to set ourselves free. We were in alignment, with how we treat people and how we should manage the business, and our goals were in alignment such that I was able to trust him to take over those daily operations and establish the cultures within the clubs. I could not have done that without Dennis, okay? So find your Dennis, right? And if you do nothing more than do that with what I'm going to talk about today, then you'll be above the rest. Trust. Building systems at scale goes to the trust that I was just talking about with Dennis. We have something within our clubs. Once somebody gets through our training, established, which could be up to 30 or 60 days, depending on how part-time or full-time they are. But once they are on board and kind of customer facing, every single one of them, down to the most junior member, has the ability to make any financial decision and any customer-related decision right there on the spot. Do they get things wrong? Of course they do. Do we beat them up for it? Of course not. We just course correct afterwards, and we just talk to them about it a little bit. But having that ability to have them out making those decisions for us frees us up to do things that are more important, okay? People ask me what I do now, and I would say that I'm probably the chief visionary for the group, and I deal with legal contracts now, I deal with lawyers, the M&A, just all the stuff that I really didn't get into this industry for. But I have people below who are able to take those mantles and run them forth. In fact, I would say at this juncture, I think they do a better job than I ever could. And so having that allows me to make some of these decisions and do some of the things I want to do. We do instill in everybody this concept of having a North Star. And typically, that might be how you treat people, or maybe a direction for the company, that type of thing. But what we focus on more is how do we make the customers feel? How do we make a member feel? People will say that you'll forget what they say, but you won't forget how they make you feel. So our first exercise together as a group is to take a sheet of paper, and on the left-hand column, I want you to write before they join, at 30 days, at 6 months, and at 1 year. And all I want you to do is tell me how you think you want your customers to feel at those junctures. Does that make sense? Yeah. Okay, this is presenter speak for helping me determine my own. I've got my own, I'll bring them up at the end. But I want to see if you guys come up with some stuff that may change my mind. Before they join, at the 30-day mark, at the 6-month mark, and at the 1-year mark, how do you want your members to feel about their relationship with you in the gym? All right, let's pull this together and get some answers. All right, pencils down. Let's see what we come up with here. First table was before they join. What'd you guys get? Excited. What'd you say? Nervous isn't bad. I'm nervous now, but I'm excited too. What'd you guys come up with? So you guys were 30 days.
They feel supported, acclimated to the club, and they have their plan in hand.
These are good. Give me that again. Supported, acclimated to the club,
and they have their plan in hand.
That's fantastic. 6 days. So you guys were 6 months, correct?
Yeah.
What'd you come up with?
We got trusted, connected, feels like home, supported.
Jesus, these are great answers. Trusted, connected, feels like home, supported. Note this evolution. You guys were 1 year in, right?
Before joining.
Before join. Who was 1 year? Jesus, how did I do this? You got. Give me your 1 year.
All right, so we're hoping that they're staying for the lifestyle now
Yep.
at this point and the atmosphere.
Hoping they're staying for the lifestyle and the atmosphere. Fantastic. What were you guys? 30 days.
Tony. We were saying that we want our members to feel supported, respected, and not a number.
Ooh, those are good. Respected, supported, and not a number. That's awesome. Good one.
6 months.
6 months.
A sense of belonging, confident, and engaged in the culture and part of the community.
That's too many. It's so good. Sense of belonging,
Yep.
confident,
Yep.
engage in the culture, part of the community. Those are fantastic answers. I think you guys' answers are better than mine, by the way.
30 days.
30 days.
I want them to feel like their expectations were exceeded.
Ooh, that's really strong. They want to feel like their expectations were exceeded. That's really good. I see a bunch of heads nodding here and saying that's a good one.
We had a year. We chose transformed.
Transformed after a year. That's a good one too. You guys are way better than my ideas.
We had, before they joined, we had excited and welcomed.
Before they joined, excited and welcome. There's a theme there, excited, right?
Yeah.
We had 6 months, and we valued in community, seems to be everybody's, but we also came up with they're pleased with their results and confident in their plan, and they referred their friends and family.
Wow, those are good too. Okay, so you had 6 months, correct?
Yeah, 6 months. So they're valued and part of the community, but they also have pleased with the results, happy with their plan, and referred their friends and family.
That's fantastic. Those are all fantastic stuff. So this is the stuff that I asked my team to draw from. I want these people to feel these certain ways, and they make decisions as such. What's it take to break the $1 million per club? My last one just came over the hump just about 6 months ago on a rolling 12. My top one does like 165 and the average 1.3 per the clubs. So what does it take to get there? A lot of the stuff we already talked about. The cost of doing business in this realm is clean and consistent clubs. We need to be clean in our clubs. Who has clean club? A consistently clean club. Fantastic. That is, you cannot compete in this space if you don't have a clean club. Clean or dirty will hide or mask different issues. So if a club is dirty, people will feel like there are more problems than there actually is. It will feel disorganized. It will feel like they can't handle what I need, et cetera, et cetera. Clubs are clean, on the other hand, can mask some of these same issues. They will not see some of the other stuff that may be going on in the club if the clubs are clean. It is something we can control. It is something that is a non-negotiable. It's something that you guys just need to do every day. It just needs to be clean when you walk in, right? That's good. Consultative sales culture. You guys have been going through this for a day and a half. You guys, if you've been dealing with this team for a while, we probably don't need to go over much on the consultative sales culture. But it's certainly. Let me ask this. And raise our hands again. Does anybody raise your hand if you agree that you need to be a consultative salesperson versus just somebody who's just trying to push membership onto people? Raise your hand if you agree with that. Okay, keep your hands up if you think that's happening in your club 100% of the time. Awesome, you guys. Jeez. I'm not sure that I could say that, so fantastic. You guys are ahead of me in that. The accountability cadence, we've also spent the last day and a half talking about accountability, so we don't need to drive down on that too darn much. But what I will say is, I'm going to talk a bit about our meetings that we have. They talk about having daily, weekly, monthly, maybe even quarterly meetings. Our cadence is daily meetings. We'll talk about that in a second, but the monthly meetings are what I'm going to go into right now. The senior manager meetings held about once a month. We typically hold them in one location, but about once, maybe twice a year, we do something fun. And I tell you what, if you want to figure out who's a leader on your team, take your managers and put them all in an escape room and just watch what happens. That's a fantastic thing. The people surprised me that acquiesced, and the people surprised me that jumped to the fourth. It was a pretty illuminating thing. But during those meetings, we go through kind of the typical stuff that you guys probably all do. We talk about our numbers, and everybody knows their numbers. Not only do we go over them on a daily basis, but people know average revenue per square foot. People know average revenue per member, how long the members have been there. They know everybody else's numbers within their system as well. We also recognize a goat and a lion of the month. I did the goat for maybe 5 years, and where the best club for that month got the stuffed goat. And they would take it and they would dress it up, they put earrings on it, or we got a type 1 diabetic that put a continuous glucose monitor on it. We got a club that's right on the water, and they glued it to a surfboard. So they do some cool things with the goat. The lion is something we've done here in the last year and a half or so. Each manager, and I'll tell you about my structure here in a second, each manager nominates somebody from their team to be the lion of the month. And they all stand up and they talk about this person and why they should be the lion of that particular month. And then Dennis makes a decision, and the person, and it goes to the line for them. Our staffing, how we currently have our staffing, with 5 clubs, I have 74 employees as of a couple days ago. 44 of them are personal trainers. And we've got a general manager at each club. We've got a fitness manager at all clubs but one, because she's pretty good at doing both. Semi-good at doing both. And then they have a support staff underneath them. So they have kind of a large group to draw from. And in our busiest PT club, we've got 13 trainers, I believe it is. And we do one-on-one. I'm not going to get into the merits of one-on-one versus small group. I personally think small group is better, but there's a bit of a democracy going on there that I hate. I know Andy hates that word. But our 13 trainers will typically render about 800 personal training sessions per month in that particular group. So there's a lot going on there. Anybody play pickleball? Raise your hand. If you didn't raise your hand, don't pick it up, because it will change your life and you will become addicted to it. I have a running joke kind of within our family that it could take me 3 months to get on the calendar for somebody to go have dinner with them, but if they wanted to go play pickleball, I'd be there in 5 minutes, right? But the point about this story is that so much of our success, and if we get out of sorts, if things aren't working out pretty well, is that we just get back to basics, kind of the blocking and tackling, if you would. I hate to keep using sports analogies for everybody, but I was having some trouble with my pickleball game, and I went to my coach and I said, geez, I've been playing good for a couple of weeks, and all of a sudden in this last league game, it was just bad. And her whole concept to me was, let's just serve, return, and dink, right? And for people that aren't playing pickleball, it doesn't really matter. There's kind of the basic strokes within pickleball, and just for an hour, that's all we did. Worked on our footwork, and just serve, return, and dink. And so what I took from that is that when things aren't going well within the clubs, that I just need to get back to basics. I need to worry about the leads and the closes and the percentages, and are we doing our sales training, and and everybody know the numbers, is everybody being held accountable? These are just basic stuff that you guys need to be doing. But what I'm telling you is that it's the same thing in other areas of your life. So for me, pickleball, for you it may be something else, but get your people knowing the basics day in and day out. The magic daily Zoom call. Let me go back for 2 seconds, just back to I remembered something about our monthly senior manager meeting. Inevitably, those meetings are about course correcting. There's some information dissemination, but there's how can we improve and what's our next step and that type of thing. The first question, and everybody has to answer in that room, and there's maybe 12 of them in the room at any given time, is that you got to tell me what went right this last month. And so that kicks off our meeting with something positive that they all can reflect back on. It could be that they got married. I don't say it's just according to business, but that inevitably they do that. It's 90% of the time is about how well they develop some staff member and how well that staff member is doing. And it's fantastic to hear. But having that at the front end of the meeting sets a tone for the meeting of positivity that they all seem to appreciate. The daily Zoom calls, we have these every day at 10 o'clock without fail. It started during COVID, ironically. I wanted to connect with our team during COVID, and I thought this was the best way to do it. And we continued it after the fact. And every single day, the cadence is the exact same. Each club brings to the table and reports on it 10 different metrics. About half, I'll tell you what they are here in a second. Half of them are sales, half of them are, well, they're all sales, but half of them are sales for new memberships, half of them are sales for PT. But they rifle through those numbers and give their input on them. So the basic stuff: leads, books, shows, walk-ins, closes. Closes for premium and standard. And I love premium so much, we don't even offer it, and I'll talk about that in a couple of slides. We talk about cancellations. We talk about FCs booked at point of sale. We talk about FCs scheduled for that day, how showed and how closed. I see some of you writing them down. You can either listen to this back or you can meet me afterwards. I can give them to you. These are just basic stuff. But they are aware of their numbers every single day. Nobody wants to show up and say a zero, but it happens. It happens 4 days in a row, there's something else to talk about, right? But every single cancellation, they need to talk to the team about what happened. A lot of people move, a lot of people not usage. I mean, that's 90% of it is probably those two. But if we talk about it as a team, maybe there's something we could all come up with as a team. Maybe there's something inherently going wrong in the system, right? And that's a prime indicator for me. We track attrition like everybody probably does, but we talk about attrition all the time within our clubs. It is one of the lifeblood of what's going on in the club. This does a couple things for us. The managers, let me get back to something except. So there's a question. Oh, the glue that I have for everybody and the magic of these meetings every day is our question of the day. Most of the times it's some whimsical nothing question. What's your favorite soup? Where do you want to go on vacation? How many kids would you want to have? That type of thing. But occasionally there's some great stuff that happens with that question of the day. I don't come up with the question of the day, they come up with it. And two of the most recent ones that were most enlightening about the team were, if you could have anybody else's job in our system, who would it be and why? And for the record, I didn't get called out by anybody. So I don't know if that's good or bad. And then the other one that was pretty illuminating was, what's the worst thing about your job? And it ended up affecting change within our system because 3/4 of them said the cancellation process. So we ended up changing it and being a little friendlier with it. And as a consequence, their job enjoyment went up a touch too. But we would have never had that if we didn't have the question of the day. We were looking at getting rid of that question or just making it once every 5 days or something, maybe a year ago. And without hesitation, they all indicated, no way, don't give up the question of the day. We get so much out of that. We learn so much more about our peers, and we're so much more connected to them just because of this crazy question. And again, I'm giving you some heavy ones, but most of them are, what's your favorite shoe brand, that kind of thing. The idea behind, the back idea behind this daily Zoom meeting is that they have an understanding of who performs well in certain aspects of our job and who doesn't. And so if we figure out that you are closing well and you're having different problems with closing, you two connect on your own and solve that problem, right? Before that even comes to us. So I would say 90% of their problems they handle amongst their own peers. In fact, they even started a twice monthly call of just the general managers and just the fitness managers, and I have never been on that call ever. But I just tell them, get on there and discuss anything you want with regard to business. And policy changes have come out of that call as well. So using the power of the peers has been what's special about this daily Zoom call. It also, by the time those 10% that don't get solved by their peers, it's fully kind of baked out and vetted out. They come with some ideas if they can't figure it out amongst their peers before they go to dentists and try and solve the problem from there. So that daily Zoom call is definitely a key to what we do within our clubs. Develop leaders and not just staff. Let's start with the story first or not. We make a promise to every hire that I'm gonna take your dreams, goals, and aspirations and incorporate them into what we do. I'm gonna make you a better employee. I'm gonna make you interview better, and I'm gonna prepare you for the next job. Because believe it or not, I want you to leave at some point in time. Even our long-term employees. I think there's a bit of a health to turnover, and our employees do stay for them a while. But I want them more prepared as a human when they leave us. We just take personal value in doing that, and we treat our staff accordingly. I'm going to give you a quick example. We had a employee who came to us when she was about 20 years old, and she had worked during college when she was in Louisiana at another club. So she came in knowing, I know the system, I know everything, like a 20-year-old is. I got a daughter who's 20. And we almost had to fire her before long. Ultimately, she progressed up through the system, became a general manager, and was a fitness manager for us, and opened another club for us, and has done some fantastic stuff. Her name was Jamie, and she was with us 10 years. She came to us, and she quit probably 6 months ago. She came to us probably 3 years ago and said, I really want to get my graduate degree. I want to become a dietitian. And we said, fantastic, what do we need to do to support your dream in that respect? Well, I can only work 25 hours a week. I can't work 50 hours, 40 hours a week. And fantastic, great, let's take you back down to being a trainer, and let's figure out who your replacement's going to be. She was part of hiring her replacement and all that. She ultimately got her graduate degree. And when she left, we threw a big party for her and everything. And then I got a phone call a couple days later as a reference for Jamie. And I'm happy to talk with people about references unless it's somebody I didn't like. And they go down the typical reference questions. How long she worked there, what position, blah, 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 blah. And then the last question typically is, would you hire her again? And I said no. And that's because she needs to make this move in her life. And I don't want to be the responsible party for holding her back. And you need to hire this person. It would be the best hire you ever made. And she ended up getting the job there, and she's done fantastically. We all went to her wedding. It's a fantastic thing. But I am looking forward to the day that my current staff has moved on from me, whatever it may be. We have people who have wanted to become fitness managers, and we raise them up to that. We have people that want to own gyms, and I've spawned off 2 people that now own gyms. Their hopes and dreams become that's our focus. I truly think that it's my job to manage the employees and their progress, and then they take care of the members at that point. Number 1 retention tool. I kind of added this in because I heard it during one of the conversations yesterday. And how do we retain people? And I think if I ask this crowd, I won't, because I know what the answer is going to be. What's the most important thing to an employee? I think most of you would probably say pay or compensation, something along those levels. And I'm not saying that's wrong. I'm just saying if your pay is competitive, that I think there's something else that's a little bit more important. And that is people want to be heard. This goes a bit to what Jared was telling me. People want to be respected for their decisions and play a contribution to the success of the company. And as we interview people, we tell them our expectations. I don't want you to lean into decisions. I need you to lead into decisions. I'm one person. I'm going to be one person wide and one person tall with decision making. I need to know what Mark is going to say, and I need to know what Hannah's going to say as we go into these, as we're deciding our direction of the company. They've got a perspective. And what's really great is the people that have been there a while kind of morph into our direction, but the new people have an entirely different perspective. And I need them to participate with that right from the outshoot. So for us, one of our number 1 retention tools is making sure that people are involved in our decisions and involved in the direction of the company. Pay is competitive too. So how do we hire such leaders? Andy's got a fantastic process for. It's much more complex than ours. We do a couple of interviews, and you kind of get a feeling. I've had like 4 interviews in my life where I could tell in the first 5 minutes I'm hiring this person. I got to fake the rest of this interview. How am I going to get through it? The unique question, and you guys probably all have great interview questions that you ask. 2 things that we ask of them. One of them is when I first sit down with them, my opening question is, what questions do you have for me? Which is typically the last question that you're asking people, right? But I ask them up front, and I think it does a couple things. It throws them off a little bit, which might be good. Maybe break them out of being nervous a minute, because I'd rather understand what their non-nervous person, as we're trying to get these interviews. But it sets a tone that what you have to say and what your cares and concerns are important to me. And so that's a nice way to do it. I read about something that I have not incorporated yet, but I just read about it a month ago and I love it. Give me your resume, and then now I want you to write your resume 10 years from now. And what is that going to look like? So we're going to start doing that soon with our people as well. Won't go too much further on the interview process. I'm gonna spend a little bit of time on this, but it's a lot of what you guys have been doing. The understanding the KPI dashboards. Somebody was asking me about what do you guys have on your scoreboards that are in your clubs. They are all in our clubs. We've got a scoreboard in our sales office, and we've got a scoreboard in our personal training office at every club. They have the team goal, and then they have individual goals, and they're gone over. Halfway through the month, they talk about it with their managers, and at the end of the month, they wrap it up and see what we can, or what tweaks we need to do, and get to the end of it. And I can give you the pictures of them, but I don't have a uniform chart. I let them design their own charts. I care what's on them, the right numbers, but if they want to make it with volcanoes and unicorns, whatever, that's on them. But I want them to personalize, and I want them to feel good about what they're putting out there. But the most junior person knows what's expected of everybody on the team, as well as what the team goals are. So my note to you is, put the goals out there so that people understand what they're working towards. Sales training cadence. We talked about it with our meetings. They know where their deficiencies are because they look at those 10. All of the metrics that we have, all our percentages on there, and then they could see everybody else's, and they could see the average for everybody. So they know that if they're deficient in one particular area, that's what they're working on. We have sales role plays every single week, and I don't know what they're working on in the sales role plays, but they're responsible for figuring out where the deficiencies are and working on those on a weekly basis. Everybody hates role playing until they get in front of the customer and they've got the confidence of having done it in a role play, right? So it's something that we do all the time. AI integration, I'm not gonna go into this too darn long, but the AI train is coming, right? We're either gonna get on it or get off of it. In fact, we got an exercise here in a few minutes that kind of pertains to that a little bit. I took a class at UC Berkeley, it's not too far from us, on AI in business. It was an online thing, and 300 people from 30 different countries. It was kind of a fantastic experience. But the capstone project for us for the class was bring AI and integrate it into your business, whatever it may be. I think I was the only gym person there. Integrate it into your business. And what I did was I took 2 trainers and I had them have AI write the workout programming for a month with somebody that they had been working with, and we made sure it was somebody that had been working with at least a year or something, so there's some trust going on there. And I don't know, because it's hard to measure, the benefit to the end user, but to the member itself. But the benefit to the trainer was fantastic. They learned stuff, even trainers who had been with us 5 years, and they were trainers outside of that, they learned new stuff that they had never even thought about. So where AI is gonna fit into our gyms, God knows. But I'm telling you, it's coming down the tracks, right? So that was a good exercise for us. Good, we got this premium membership thing that's coming up here. Test small, scale smart, bullets before cannonballs. What that is anything that we are going to be changing within our clubs, we do it in one club first. And we rotate that around, whichever club we think we might have the most success with it. We try it in that one club. If it works, fantastic, we'll blow it out amongst the other clubs. Or if it doesn't work, then great, we've got one exposure to it, that's fine. Premium membership. Now it's back to I said I love premium membership so much I don't even have them. What our premium membership is that we don't have, essentially it depends on where the club is, and there's a couple of things that are in there, almost doesn't matter what the other ones are. The magic one is the eVolt. And I could not figure, I used to joke with my team, we got a bunch of $7,000 scales, what the hell are we doing with these things? And one of the people on our team actually came up with this idea, and it is magic. They say when you come to these conferences that you're gonna forget 95%. Here's the 5% of my presentation that you need to remember. Forget everything else, here's what it is. That once a month, everybody gets a free eVolt weigh-in. And we've trained all of our trainers how to manage eVolts. We've trained all of our staff how to manage eVolts. I don't need a trainer to put somebody on the eVolt. So the person comes in and they get on the eVolt, and then they're trained to ask one question and one question only. How do the results look to you? Oh, by the way, we throw the printers out. We just only use it on the, the weird size paper, and it breaks down. It's crazy. We just get people on the app from day one. How do those numbers look to you? That's usually going to go one of 2 ways. They look pretty good. Awesome, what are you doing? Oh, great, congratulations. When do you come in next and do that? We'll see you in 4 weeks on Thursday night at 5 o'clock. Or, I don't know, or they look pretty bad. Cool, you want some help with that? And that, I forgot who I was talking to, but that sells so much training after the fact, it would just shock you. It could sell training a year and a half into their memberships. If you guys are like me, how we usually got people into the training, fold, is that once they sign up, then we try to get them with a fitness consultation, and then we get them in the fitness consultation and we try and sell them, and sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't, and we think to follow up in 30 days, and maybe we do, maybe we don't, but they fall off the map. And I hardly ever signed anybody up for training that was there for 6 months. At this juncture, I think I sign up more people for training after they've been with our club for 2 months than before they've been with 2 months. So the magic to that $7,000 scale is get people on it. Now, back to the premium membership. I love the concept of premium membership, and again, I love it so much that we don't have it. What we did instead, and I want you to remember these numbers, 11, 22, and 66, and they're roughly rounded off, but we decided out of one of our senior manager meetings from somebody else, from one of our managers, let's sell premium memberships. Fantastic idea. What are we gonna put in the premium memberships? We argued it all out, got to the evil thing. The first month, we put it on the price sheet, and we put the premium first and best value and all the, jazzier fonts and a little larger than the other ones and all that BS. And we put it out into the world, and they sold 11% premium memberships. We came back in the next senior manager meeting, what tweaks do we need to do? Hey, let's put it on the back. So we'll show the premium membership, we won't have an option. People won't see that there's a drop down unless we get into that conversation. Cool, that ramped it up to 22%. And the last one that ramped it up to 66%, and ultimately our final direction on it, is that we cut the word premium off, and it just became our membership. And so back to what Jared has taught me, don't lower your price, raise your value, right? So Jared, I have to thank premium memberships for you, I guess, on some level, buddy. But now all of our memberships are premium memberships. We don't call them premium, they're just our membership, right? And part of the metrics that you heard me call off before was, well, there's a standard and a non-premium and a premium sale. All of our members are premium members unless it's like a spouse or a friend or a super referral or I heard they had this or whatever. Then we drop them down to the other membership and we still give them the e-Volt. But that was a way for us to raise our prices $7 to $10 bi-weekly out of the chute, right? So we're talking a 15% raise just by doing that. So we don't call them premium, we don't offer something else, we don't let somebody walk out because of price, then we can pull it somewhere else or make it up or whatever the case may be. But everybody gets presented with what the premium is and all the services and features and benefits that go into that. So again, there's your 5%. Strategic reinvestment. We invest in our people's training. We just do. There's 10 of them, 9 of them, whatever it is, I don't know, coming to the class or coming to the conference, and they're all in flight right now. And we had 2 of them tell us that weren't on the list initially, we will pay our way in, we will fly ourselves out so that we can attend this thing. And of course, can't let them do that. But that's how invested they are in what's going on in their continued education. Watch attrition. One of our goals, our big goals, was every club and every sales general manager and fitness manager comes up with a goal, a WIG. I'll use your guys' terminology. Comes up with a WIG for the following year. We started working on that at the last senior manager meeting. And they have to put it together. They have to put all the measurables and how they're gonna get to that. I mean, all the things that the guys are talking about with Mastermind. And then they have to present it back to the rest of the team, and the rest of the team pokes holes in it, right? And then we get it all cinched up at the end of November. Dennis and I also come up with a goal for everybody, and we have some payouts for whether you achieve them and all that. Our goal last year was to lower our attrition. I think Andy, and I'm so impressed by what Andy did, our attrition was hovering at about average across the system 49%. And we put some work and effort into that, and last year got it down to 42, and now we're down to 39. So for me, that's 10%, 770 members that we don't have to sell just to tread water, right? Attrition is the lifeblood of what's going on in the clubs. There are a million things that go into attrition: cleanliness, how the people are treated, the onboarding. I mean, you guys could probably come up with as many as I can, but we focused on it for a year, and now it's tailed on to this year and continued the improvement. So focus on your attrition. Shaping the next decade of fitness, and here's where you guys get to come up with some ideas again. I want you guys to each table work together again with themselves. I want you guys to come up with something that is going to be different and forward thinking about the fitness industry 10 years from now. what is going to be different in 10 years than what we're doing and then how we're operating right now. So take about 10 or 12 minutes to do that.
We have a body scanning system when you walk in the door. Okay, this is where you did the work.
You have that now?
No.
Oh, you're saying, oh, okay. I went to the, now there's eVolt and a couple of competitors and the different scannings and the ones that take pictures. And I said, give me the picture and then give me that same image with the person that's lost 20 pounds.
Oh, yeah.
And I said, oh my God, that would just so.
Nothing like, incentivizing them by seeing what you
Yeah, this is what 20 pounds less of you would look like. That would be pretty awesome. Okay? Doing okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
We just have. I know I ran a little bit over.
Okay, I'm like 5 minutes after this.
We all fell a little bit behind today, so.
We'll cut slides off.
We only got 3 slides.
Yeah, I'll rifle through them.
Oh, and hey, it just hit me at the beginning of your presentation when you said my final slide that I made for you.
Yeah,
you
it's not
didn't
on
mean
there.
You wanted that as the last slide instead.
Is it not?
That's where it's at. It's the last slide. Of that.
Yeah,
You
cool.
already
Yeah,
did
that's
that.
what I wanted. Cool. No, I wanted that because I didn't give my answers. That'll be, yeah. Huh?
So I didn't mess it up.
No, you did it just right.
Just curious, will you share what you get for your membership?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You talk about the evil, something like that.
I'll open it to questions. I already have 2 in the tank. I will include that. How much I charge for memberships?
What do you get with like your premium? What
That's your
service?
membership.
Oh, I got to think about it for a second because it's evil. It's the only one I care about.
Well, that's what I'm wondering. So
Yeah.
like, I'm in Florida, and Evil. When I ran my first gym, it was even difficult for me to try and explain. When you go to Evil, you see it, and I guess it's actually really good. It's a great monthly thing, but even for me, trying to sell it for free or for people to do it was very difficult. Now, granted, I haven't ran a gym.
I haven't sold the evils. I don't really have luck selling them. A crazy thing is we had some relationship with some local bodybuilders and they came in, they weren't even members, they just wanted to come in and use the eVolt.
So really you're just...
That's my way to monetize eVolt.
Okay, yeah, I get that. But you're not actually selling Evil, you're selling the ability to use the Evil and what it can do. Is that
Yes.
You're not actually selling the Evil, right? You're actually selling...
I mean, we're selling the concept, we're selling that as a service that's included in your membership.
Exactly.
So but we're not selling eVolt.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
I'm trying to find a way to present this in a different way to my senior managers.
Yeah. We played around with special parking in some of our places. That's a nightmare to manage. Shit. A couple of places have towels, and so we started doing that for premium. But then we give them to everybody. It's the interaction once a month with them, assessing their progress. So that's part of our attrition hook, really. I don't even know what the other things are on the.
I need to change my perspective on the Evil. Thank you.
All right, let's do this. Best idea. All right, you guys, pull it back in.
We're gonna go with the AI technology
How so?
to the point where members will walk through, they'll get on or a new member will get on an AI generated device, which is going to show them what they're going to look like.
You could look like this. You look like this, like a clown mirror.
Well, after you put your goal in, say how I like to look at 20
Oh,
pounds
that's
or
awesome.
Then,
All right, you guys, circle it back up for a second. We'll get through that. I only have a slide or 2 more. Teaser, the next slide will be the most uncomfortable thing I've ever said to a group of people in my life. So that's the next slide after this one. Figured that could settle you down for a minute. Okay, idea number 1 from this table is based a bit on AI, but you walk in the door and it takes a scan. And we even added on to the scan by saying, you look like this currently. If you lost 20 pounds, it look like this. So that's an interesting idea. What's your guys' idea about where the future of fitness is heading? Can we come back?
We had a few different ones.
Give me one.
Well, one is that they're still going to need to go to the gym for strength because you can't have strength equipment, racks, squat racks, heavy weights, dumbbells, everything in everybody's homes.
Hallelujah. You gotta come to the gym for strength. What do you guys have?
I think you got to come to the gym for the connection, a relationship.
I've got that down too. That's good. You're still gonna have to come to the gym for connection and relationships. That's what you had?
Yeah, community.
Community. Oh boy, you guys, you my cheat sheets here.
Don't look at me.
Idea.
I did my turn.
Whatever idea. Yep. What might fitness look like different than today, 10 years in the future?
Something to wear to track your body in space.
Something, wearables, I think very much will play a part of what's going on in our life. But to track you where, and give me that again?
Like track your body in a 3D space.
Track your body in a 3D, oh, I love that.
Longevity. So people are going to be working out longer into life. We're going to need programs for different groups of people, and perhaps
That's a good one.
Perhaps they'll be able to recover easier and better with different peptides also.
People are living longer. How are we going to support that trend? Is that fair? That's fantastic.
Debate.
What? You had a debate? Okay. Is that, where you happen to be debating about what's happening in the future of fitness or something else?
Yeah, that too.
Okay, give me one. Something that will be different today that will 10 years from now.
I think the advancement will be there to like just help like coaches help more people.
Not unlike what I was talking about before.
Yeah, but I feel like we're talking about how it won't advance to the point, we don't believe that it advances to the point where it takes out the human nature, like the human contact.
I think I'm in agreement with you. Yeah.
When you show up to a small group, a lot of our small groups, like they've become friends. So if AI were to take over that, it would take away that human aspect. So
that's a bit of what they were saying with the community part too. Right. So it kind of almost focuses down to the community within the clubs,
yes.
Right? Okay, good.
You had an idea that it was going to be more still like in our system, like Anytime Fitness system, that there'll be way more integration with AI, with like what people's goals are, that will kind of spit out even more specific information about them.
Personalization.
Yeah.
It's my first one.
Oh,
It's good.
Gotcha.
Whoop.
Careful. So, I imagine people are pretty much all going to have, or the majority of people are going to have their own personal AIs, right? Managing their appointments and everything like that. To get a lead in the door, you will no longer have to communicate with that person.
Ooh.
You will have to persuade their AI to get them in the door.
Oh, wow. Wow, I'm kind of mad I didn't think of that. That's pretty good.
Yeah, right.
That's pretty, you recording this?
So we came up with AI is going to be trainers will be doing the AI trainer.
Yep.
But while every other big box is going to have those AI trainers, we're going to stay the small boutique and be one-on-one with people and creating the community again. And also like the small, we actually have that. In our small group training,
Yeah.
we have dog walks, the guys get together, they all the groups are friends, they talk to each other, we have...
They date.
Yeah, they set each other up.
Dating app.
They pictures of themselves on vacation and say they're sorry they missed the class.
AnytimeFitDate.com. I love it. Those are awesome. Wow, great answers. A lot of things heading in the same direction. I'll tell you what I have kind of written down as I think about this, and I think about everything within our business incessantly, but this is the type of stuff that holds me up at night. I think we mentioned most of these. Hyper-personalization with AI coaching, right? So how Mark wants to work out is different than how Hannah, sorry to keep picking on you guys, how Hannah wants to work out is a little different than how I may want to work out. So it will be, in my opinion, that with the advent of AI and some of these other tools, that we're going to be able to figure out more of what's best for me, okay? This holistic wellness, I hate the word holistic, but you know what? It fits in this particular thing. Measuring your stress, your sleep, your stretching, nutrition, all be kind of integrated into that and also forming what's best for me. So a little bit of that personalization again. The community, I don't know, maybe 3 or 4 of the tables said that. I don't know that can be replaced. And I know that within my clubs, we made a decision a handful of years back. We live in the tech industry of kind of the world, really. Google, Apple, and everything's in our backyard. Sorry, Jared. We stopped putting TVs on our cardio equipment maybe 3 or 4 years ago. People want a bit of a vacation from that, right? And we found that they just were not being used. And you guys all know that there's a price to those, and maybe that's one of the things that goes down. They're super expensive, that kind of thing. People bring in their AirPod, whatever the hell they are, your ears, and listen to their own music. Maybe they're watching it on their own iPad or whatever the case may be. But they just want to have a bit of vacation from that. I think that people will also. There's just going to be more and more integration digitally, right, with our lives. Our gyms could be a place where that's free of that. And maybe it's even a technology-free zone. Maybe that's really the real future of that. Ethical data management. I mean, mean, we're going to have so much information on people. How do we manage that? So these are just kind of some of the things I come up with, but you were the winner of the day. That's a fantastic idea. Okay, damn, we could just pass by this if you guys want. The first part of this, a few people in my life know, and this is going to be about 15x that number right now. Family's important. In 2020, COVID hit, and our gyms were shut down. And I, every week felt like, oh Christ, they can't be down for a month, they can't be down for 2 months, they can't be whatever. And in California, again, as I depicted earlier, is a problem. About 6 months in, my daughter, God, she must have been 16 or 17 at a time, something like that, tells me that she doesn't like the person that I am. And at that point, that she did not, sorry guys, she did not want me to walk her down the aisle when she got married. And the next day, my wife told me she wanted to separate. And I ended up having to move out, buy another house, managing COVID, managing our team, managing my emotions around that. Let me fast forward to the good part. We're heading in a great direction, and I've reconnected with them, and everything seems fantastic there. But I had to refocus. I could tell that I was too focused on work, and that it really, I enjoyed work. It wasn't like I was just this mad scientist kind of grinding away, although I was. It was that I was spending time there that I should be spending time and energy with my family. I cannot tell you guys how important family is. You guys have to all figure that out yourselves, I'm sure, as you think it's like me. But it was, I hate to say you have to hit a low to get back to the high, but for me, that's what happened. And it was really, really hard to hear that. But it's allowed me to reprioritize kind of everything in my life, and every moment that I can get a chance to get out of the clubs and spend with my family, I take advantage of it. And that's part of that trust that I have in our team, right? They know, my team does not know what I just told you guys. I don't want to, I don't know. I don't know what I was thinking. I didn't want to tell them. Health and energy is an investment. I know that I feel better when I'm in the gym. I probably have 3 or 4 days a week, and I play a ton of pickleball. And if I don't do that for a couple I'm going to feel like shit on Saturday, because I probably only worked out maybe once or twice, and I only played pickleball, and I probably drink too much and eat bad shit this week. But I will get back on the train on Sunday night when I get home. I promise you that. I feel better. I'm a better father. I'm a better husband. I'm a better boss, I think, when I'm in a good position with my physical health. So keep that important for you guys as well. Culture before strategy, we've been talking about that. Leading through service. During COVID, I paid charities before I paid myself when we first opened. And we've always tried to be a charitable organization. When we first opened, when we first shut down for COVID, I kept my managers on for the entire time that stayed with me. And although between our calls in the morning and the afternoon, I told them they had to go out in the community and do something good for their community. Whatever it may be. Some of them shopped for people who didn't feel comfortable going to the grocery store, whatever the case may be, worked at a food bank. I'm trying to think of some of the other stuff that they did. It just creates this kind of DNA within our system of giving and culture. And I feel like that has come back 8,000-fold within our clubs. As our members feel what we do, there's hardly a month that goes by that we're not doing some kind of fundraising thing. I heard about some of the fundraisers that you guys did that, God, it's just some fantastic stuff, and we'll steal some of that stuff. But it is part of who we are. If you're going to be involved with us, you're going to be a giving person, whatever that may mean. So, kind of wrap it up a bit. We're down to the last slide here. Next slide's last slide. I think it's important to lead by example. That if I'm going to establish a culture of giving to the community, that I need to be that person to kind of lead that. If I'm going to ask somebody to work hard on something, I need to be the person to meet and lead that as well, and be involved in that. So I rarely ask anybody to do something that I wouldn't do, and I think that they can feel that. So I think that's part of it. The development of the leaders is a crucial part. We talked about that on one of the slides. Our employee attrition is incredibly low. Some of the people we have to kick out, we kind of mentioned that with the tenure person. But I feel good every day as I put my head down in that we're asking them to lead and having an expectation that they contribute, right? And I think that is incredibly critical with our goals to scale. Back to basics. We have a mantra within our system as well. I'd rather you guys be consistently good than occasionally great. So all the things that Andy and his team have been talking about, the accountability stuff that they just go over ad nauseum, our meetings every day, our expectations around cleanliness, our expectations around contributions within the club, is an expectation that's every single day that's out there. And it's part of our basic culture and part of our basic DNA. And I think it's really key to why we have some of the success that we have. My North Star, you guys had better. Before they join, My idea is I want them to create belief in themselves, belief that they can do this, that type of thing. And again, I'm going to go back and listen to that because I'm probably going to change some of this stuff. At the 6 month, whoops, I skipped over one. At the 30 days one, we want to build confidence in that person, create some small wins. We've engaged, we've probably touched them 5 times in the first 30 days, but I want them to feel like they belong. At 6 months in, I want them to feel pride in where they are. I want them to start to feel a sense of loyalty in what they're, they're part of the system now too. And at 1 year in, I think you guys probably all said that our customers become advocates and become the referral stream. Thank you for letting me blab to you guys for a few minutes. I appreciate it. I'll answer any question you guys have. There's one question that came up yesterday that I'll ask myself. When do you guys decide when to raise your prices in the clubs? It's easy. I don't do it, they do it. And they do it because they know our system. And what it is we have an expectation of closing, this is for new members, we have an expectation of closing at 75%. And they're all about that, 60 to high 70s or something in a given month, maybe low 60s. They do pretty well with that. When they have closed in their facility for 2 straight months at 85%, we raise our prices. I don't care if it's summer, I don't care if it's winter, I don't care if we've remodeled, I don't care any of that. We've shown the ability to sell our current level of value at a certain rate. So we bump that rate up. I think there's a health to having some people say, no, your price is too expensive. Of course, we don't want everybody doing that, right? But when they do it at 85%, our managers do it themselves, they just raise the prices at that particular club. So we can even have clubs that are next to each other, 5 miles apart from each other. One may be a little expensive, more expensive than the other. That's because that team is together enough with the marketing that they have and the people that come presented to them that they're able to sell at 85%. Then let's bump that price up a little bit and push that envelope. Any other questions? Oh, you guys went out of here. Love you. Thanks, you guys. Jeff, you asked a question that maybe other people might want to know too. And that was, what's in your premium membership? And I told Jeff, I don't know. All I really care about is the e-Bolt, right? And so that's kind of what we lead with, and that's our primary reason for raising our price into that premium scale, right? We played around with towels at some places. We played around with some advantageous parking and all that. It's all a nightmare to manage the e-Bolt. Everybody learns how to do it and everybody does it. So that's that question. Thanks.